Interior hotel room day. The phone rings. Phil rolls over and picks up. Phil, yeah? Ed, rise and shine, kiddo. There's things to do. Phil, I'm not your kiddo anymore, Dad. Ed, you're still my son. Be ready in 10? Phil, I guess so. Ed, lots to see. Phil hangs up. He goes to the other bed to rouse Dan. Phil, Grandpa says they have a lot of neat things to show us. Dan, they do? What? Interior hotel lobby, day. Phil, Max, and Dan meet Ed, Carol, and the Watcher. Interior mall, day. They walk out of the hotel into a shopping mall. It's brightly lit and glossy. Tall blonde people in outlandish clothes throng the mall. Carol and Maxine pause to look at the displays. Maxine, somehow I don't think we're back in Kansas. Watcher, you aren't. Of course, we have operations in Kansas, but most of the people who live there don't know about us. Phil, hiding in plain sight? Watcher, you could say that, and of course we're not the only ones. The women go into a clothing store. Interior clothing store, day. A salesgirl approaches. Salesgirl, can I help you with anything in particular? Maxine, just looking. They wander through the racks. Carol, these look like things they show at Fashion Week in Paris. Maxine flips through a rack and pulls out a dress. The dress has a sheer white top with a pattern of sequins and a sheer black skirt. She goes to the mirror and holds it up in front of her. Maxine, what does one wear under this? Salesgirl, nothing. Maxine, is this lingerie? Salesgirl, no. Maxine, then where does one wear this? Salesgirl, some women wear them to dinner parties. Maxine goes into a dressing room, strips down to her lacy coral blue underwear, and tries on the dress. She puts her street clothes back on and returns to the salesgirl. Maxine, I'll take it. They go to the register. Maxine passes her phone over the payment sensor. Maxine, have you ever worn one of these? Salesgirl, not yet. Maxine, does one shave to wear this? Salesgirl, that's a matter of personal preference, madam. Interior, the mall, day. Maxine and Carol rejoin the men. Phil, who else is sneaking around? Watcher, all kinds of human species from other places, and some non-human ones, too. Phil, they aren't going to save us? Watcher, no, that's why they're going home. Phil, so all the psychopaths are just pulling up the ladder? Watcher, that's a bit harsh. Phil, I'm not sure I want to be any part of this. Might be better off dead. Maxine, how does anything survive? Watcher, redundancy, copies of everything, everywhere. It makes it possible to rebuild. Dan, what's a watcher? Watcher, there are different kinds. Some of us watch people. Some are more on the technical side. Others do intuitive studies. Dan, what kind are you? Watcher, I'm a people watcher. I tried the technical side and frankly, it bored me, although I do know it's important. Would you like to see what they do? Dan, sounds way cool. They stop in front of an electronics store. Watcher, these are personal electronics, TPMs, NLCs, holocubes. Phil, say what? Watcher, I'm sorry. TPMs are wireless power supplies. The T refers to Nikola Tesla, who invented them. NLCs are computers that have a quantum link to non-local information. Phil, that explains everything. Watcher, I'm sorry. I don't understand how they work. I'm just a consumer. Dan, can I have one of those? Watcher, yes, if your parents decide to stay. Dan looks puzzled. Maxine, don't worry, dear. You'll be okay. The group moves on. Dan continues to gaze at the toys. Maxine comes back and grabs him by the shoulders and turns him in the right direction. March, young man. We'll come back later. The group goes into a store with a flashing gold cross. Interior health food store, day. They go down the aisle, ending at a display marked the Ninth Ray. Watcher, we've found that a computer program can diagnose common ailments as well as human doctors. Phil, I'm sure the medical profession loves that. Watcher, they do because it gives them more time to deal with the whole person. And with more accurate diagnosis, we have fewer malpractice suits. Maxine, how does it work? Watcher, place your hand on the reader. Maxine puts her hand on a plastic panel with the outline of a hand. Watcher, wait a moment. Ninth Ray, congratulations! You currently have no clinical or subclinical illnesses requiring attention. Thank you for stopping by. Have a nice day. Maxine, some stupid phrases never die. What would happen if I had a problem? Watcher, it might give you a prescription. Maxine, for what? Pills? Watcher, some illnesses manifest as vibrations in the body. For that, we give you one of these boxes. The Watcher goes to a nearby shelf and points out an array of small boxes in various colors. He pulls one down and shows it to Maxine. It's marked Depression. Watcher, this cancels out the bad vibrations. You get well. Carol is in the book area, flipping through a book titled Conscious Dying. Carol, I've never heard of such a thing. Watcher, there's more to our technology than ray guns. Carol continues to flip through the pages. Watcher, we know for a fact that something survives physical death, so we try to make the transition with as little difficulty as possible. They leave the store. Interior, the mall day. They come to an unmarked door. The Watcher swipes his badge. The door unlatches. Watcher, I'm going to show you a Watcher room for the technical types. They go through the doorway. The door closes solidly behind them. They walk down a hall to an elevator. The Watcher presses the call button. Interior, elevator, day. The elevator has many buttons. The Watcher presses 40. Phil, that's a lot of buttons. Watcher, we don't do anything for show. At level 39, it starts to slow. The door opens and they get off. Interior, security desk, day. They're at a security point. The Watcher shows his badge. The guard picks up a handset. In a few moments, an escort comes out. Interior, Watcher lab, day. A dozen people sit at workstations with multiple monitors for each person. Off to one side, a few people sit quietly, apparently doing nothing. Watcher, Dan, this is what I was telling you about. Dan looks around with wide eyes. They stop at a workstation. The monitors show earthquake activity, weather, pollution, and solar storm information. Watcher, this is an Earth Watcher. He tracks all kinds of events like earthquakes, floods, volcanoes, hurricanes, tides, pollution, solar storms, and so on. They walk a few steps to another workstation that shows a lot of graphs and financial news. Watcher, this woman monitors all kinds of economic events in your economy and ours. Like many Watchers, she's been chosen for her ability to make sense out of a lot of random information. Further on, a man tracks a variety of news media. Watcher, this person is a news analyst. We can often see the dim outline of future events in current events. They walk into the quiet area. Watcher, these people are concentrating on the flow of intuitive information. It's very important work, and everyone takes a turn at it, although some are better than others. The Watcher turns to Dan. Watcher, does this look interesting to you, Dan? Dan, yeah, I think I want to do this when I grow up. Watcher, if you stay, you'll get a chance at it. Everyone gets tested. Most people don't make the grade. Dan, I'll make the grade. Watcher, yes, I think you will. Interior, the mall day. They come to a residential street. Watcher, perhaps you'd like to see how we live here. Carol, I'd like that. Watcher, my place is just down the street.